What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for the pre-match stream. It's Tottenham against Brentford. It is the Thomas Frank derby, and we need 3 points, people.
How many games in a row have you said that?
Well, how many games have we played at home?
Was this our 8th?
8th. So I've said that for 7
So
games.
7.
7 home games straight.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Here we go again.
Here
Another
we
weekend
go
of
again.
Exactly.
Exactly. I've pulled the short straw this weekend, so I get to go to the game.
Enjoy. No booing.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that
Even
shit.
if Ricardo makes another howler?
Yeah, you know
No
me.
booing. No booing.
Nah, that's not my...
Back the team, people.
That's not my style. As much as you might think it is, it's not my style.
Also, big up to everyone who we've appeared in their top percentage of viewership.
Yeah,
over the
quite a
year.
lot of people have been sharing that on
people.
social media. So big
lot
up
of
to all of
people.
you.
Big up.
See,
Big
Brian Daigle was in like the 0.0.1 or so, 0.001 or something like that. So I haven't seen anyone as many videos viewed as Daigle yet.
Some people have viewed upwards of 600 videos over the last year, which is insane. Insane support. Big up to everyone, though. If we've appeared in the
I think Daigle
top
was over
percentages.
850 videos.
850. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Daigle is on a mad one. On a madness.
And that's probably all the videos that he hasn't been in, pretty much. But look, we've got a Tottenham update to bring to you first and foremost. And the first one is an update regarding the injuries of Dominic Solanke and Dejan Kulusevski. So it's not much, but Thomas Frank did say in the press conference, I thought it was quite worrying about Solanke and Kulusevski, just very short with the journalist saying he doesn't know when they're going to return. And you know, Kulusevski we've seen on the grass for quite some time now. I thought there would actually be like at least a time frame. And Solanke, it's just like, God knows what's going on with Solanke. Like, nobody knows.
We saw he was pictured in training or in the training centre. I don't know if it was individual training or what, but there was a picture circling. So
he's alive, we know.
Yeah, we know he exists, and he's definitely alive. But obviously, it's so worrying that there's no time frame of when he's going to be back in first team training or joining the team. Look, with Kulusevski, we know it's understandable. He's had a serious knee injury, so however long it takes. But fair enough as well. Solanke has had surgery, but you would have thought there would be some sort of time frame of when we expect to see him back. We were told Kulusevski is going to be around this time. He maybe will return to training when he's going to be ready to play. Obviously it's anyone's guess, but we've heard consistent timelines from Potter and from Frank. You know, it's around this time we're going to start seeing him back in training, potentially, or back on the grass. But with Solanke, there's just nothing. There's just no update. No one seems to know what's going on with him. You know, we've heard so long positive steps. He's getting closer, and yet now we're hearing just no news, like no closer to return whatsoever. So maybe it's just going to happen. 1 week he's just going to be appearing again, back in training, and that'll be that. But it's concerning. I think the most concerning thing is Frank, when he's asked about it, doesn't seem to know.
He seems to get like less and less enthusiastic as the weeks go by, because when he was first asked, yeah, no worries, he'll be back after international break. The next international break comes after the international break, which he said he'll be back. Same message from Thomas Frank, and then since then he's just kind of just been like so under wraps with it all, being like, we don't know. And yeah, as the days go by, the weeks go by, the months go by, we're just left in the dark of what is actually going on with Dominic Solanke.
The problem is, there's all these, look, I don't want to get into all the rumours about him at the moment, but there are like different rumours about different things flying around. Obviously, there's no credence to them, there's no actual substance to them, but the problem is, when the club are so vague about what's going on with him, it just leads to these rumours circulating about what's really going on, and it doesn't really quieten unless we get confirmation about what's actually going on with Solanke right now.
Yeah, there was a report from a journalist. I can't remember which journal it was. I think it was it one of the Athletic journalists, or I can't remember who exactly, but quite a reliable source says that he'll be back sooner rather than later. But
that was from Jay Harris. Yeah, that was a few weeks ago, wasn't it? I think he actually spoke to Solanke at some sort of event.
That was before the United game. And like, we're weeks away from that United game. And
how long has it been? A month?
Exactly. And like, there's been nothing.
Yeah.
That was also before an international break.
Yeah, I think it was either just before or just after. I can't remember.
I think it was just before, because the international break was the Arsenal game, was the first game back, and the United game was the game before. So it's always these international breaks. They try and like grab us in and be like, after the international break, no worries.
Yeah, Frank said it though. International break is going to be very important for him, and we're 2 weeks after the international break now.
Yeah.
And nothing, no news, doesn't seem to be any closer to returning.
Yeah.
So anyone's guess, but. Yeah, I wonder if what's going on with him will convince Tottenham to dip into the market for a number 9 in January, or whether we're going to wait to see if he can get back fit. But the longer this goes on, the more question marks are going to be there about what's really going on.
If he's not back in the next few weeks, that's half the season gone.
How mad is that? No one, with no kind of indication this was going to be a 6-month potential injury, and we're here, as you say, halfway through the season. This is a player as well, historically known for not getting injured. That was one of his selling points for signing him, is because he basically can play every game. And
do you remember when we signed him, we're like, yeah, Richie's always injured. At least Dom Solanke will always be available.
And Richie's the one this season who hasn't been injured. Couldn't write it. In terms of Decky, though, look, as much as I'm hoping he can get back playing as soon as possible, with serious knee injuries, you can't really force the issue. And as well, when he does return, you can't really expect him to return in top form either. So it might be next season until we see the best of Decky. So anyone, I think, I keep hearing people say, yeah, well, will Maddison and Decky come back? Yeah, but that might not be this season. And we can't rely on it being this season. So we have to move on as if we can't rely on them. That's the reality.
Yeah, 100% spot on. And look, we heard a few months ago, even I think Decky was in an interview himself saying like he could be back for around November time. I think he said, but I think he was just being over optimistic on that point. But we're sitting here now, 5th of December, and Frank still is unsure when we're going to see Dejan Kulusevski again. I think the initial report said, you're looking at between mid to the last stage of December. But yeah, nobody knows.
I don't know. Is he in first team training yet?
I don't think so.
No. So we saw what's been going on with Dragoshin.
Yeah.
He's been in first team training ever since like September. Or at least around then. He's had now 2 behind closed doors friendlies behind him, and he's still not ready to even get any minutes, let alone start games. So does Kulusevski have to go through the same process?
Probably.
I don't know if it's a different injury.
It is a different injury.
But it's still a very serious knee injury.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be a similar. Is it going to be with Decky once he's training? That's it, he can play, or is it going to be similar to Dragoshin?
I think it's going to take him time to get back once he is training with the team.
Exactly. So I'm guessing if he's not back training now, I've hard to imagine him being available to play at least until the new year.
Yeah, I'll say even further than that. But look, there's no point even talking about timeframes when Thomas Frank doesn't even know timeframes. So that suggests to me that we're quite some time away from seeing Dejan Kulusevski back in a Spurs shirt on the pitch. But having said all that, there has been a report from a Napoli publication saying that Antonio Conte wants Napoli to sign Dejan Kulusevski from Tottenham Hotspur next year. I don't know if he means next year as in January or next year as in the summer, but Conte obviously was the one that signed Dejan Kulusevski at Tottenham. And now he wants him at Napoli, apparently.
Wouldn't be surprised. Well, it depends if Conte's resigned by then or not. You never know with him. But I'm sure Conte would love him at Napoli because he was obviously very good under him. So it doesn't surprise me.
But I always feel it weird when these reports come out because, like, you don't even know when Dejan Kulusevski is going to be back to full fitness. Like, why even if it's a bullshit rumour, like, why even put this in the press?
Just to get us reading about it. That's it. You've done their job for them. Well done.
So that's that. Next up, Team Talk. Obviously not the most reliable source, but they're saying that Tottenham could launch a 40 million bid for Brighton defender Jan Paul van Hecker. Or was it Jan? Is his name Jan? It's just Paul van Hecker, isn't it? No, Jan Paul van Hecker.
Yeah.
In 2026. I never knew his name was Jan. Get him in then if his name's Jan.
A Dutch defender called Jan. Yeah, I'm sold. Also,
except for Jan was a Belgian defender.
It's a good point. He used to play in Holland. Yeah, you're right. When it comes to Jan, one of 4 defenders now this season who've scored a brace with Van der Ven, Romero.
Yeah.
Get him in. All our defenders seem to be scoring. So if we need a goal scoring defender, maybe Van Hecker's the the ideal candidate. I've been very impressed with him at Brighton over the last couple of years now. I think he did struggle near the beginning. Like, he seemed a bit flat-footed, but this guy is very tall. He's actually a lot quicker than people give him credit for. Actually really good with the ball at his feet. I don't know if you saw the goal he scored late on in the game against Villa. You can see the guy's got good technical ability about him. I think he'll suit us. But, yeah, I don't know if that's a realistic signing right now.
Yeah, I think it only makes sense if one of Romero and Van de Ven leave Spurs, to be honest. I don't see us going for a big money centre-back if them two are still at the club. We have been linked with him in the past. I think we were linked to them in the summer. There have been a few various reports since then as well. I rate him so highly, as I would say he's one of the best centre-backs, in my opinion, outside the top six. I genuinely believe that. I think he's really good quality.
I agree.
And if one of those defenders were to leave, I'd be very open to signing him, but I can't see that happening.
You know what? If you're looking at, how Arsenal are dealing with their centre-back problems, they've just stacked the quality, and if we want to one day compete up there, maybe that's what you got to do.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But can you actually see Spurs doing it? I just can't.
Not historically, no, definitely not. But times are changing, Ben.
Yeah.
It's a new Enoch.
Bigger picture in that.
It's a new Enoch.
This next report from Calcio Mercato claimed that Nottingham Forest are now battling with Tottenham and West Ham to sign Matteo Pellegrino from Parma. Parma, 24-year-old Argentinian striker, has a market value of $6 million. Scored 4 goals in 13 games this season. Don't know much about him, but I'm against it.
Why are you against it?
Because I don't know much about him. He's already 24. I know 24 is not old, but look, to be honest, I don't have too many reasons why I'm that against it. But when you're looking at the other teams interested in Nottingham Forest and West Ham,
it does. His stats seem awful. Oh my god. Doesn't seem like. It just seems like he's chucked our name in there to drum up interest.
Yeah.
To be honest, why would we sign a striker like that unless there's something we're seeing, which means he's completely undervalued by everyone else? But
it just makes this signing. It just if we were to go and sign him, it just like makes me think back to like Carlos Vinicius and like strikers that we've signed of that ilk. You know what I mean?
At least he was top goal scorer in Portugal.
Yeah, it's true. So that's that. This next one, another one from Team Talk, and they claim that Tyler Morton could be set to return to the Premier League after just 6 months after swapping Liverpool for Lyon in the summer. Morton's impressive displays for Lyons have caught the attentions of several Premier League clubs, including Tottenham, Palace, Forest, Brighton, Newcastle and Everton. They're all keeping tabs on the 23-year-old. Morton, however, is delighted with how things are going in France. However, Lyon, they're not looking to sell the midfielder. However, Lyon do find themselves in a bit of financial issues at this moment in time and would be open to doubling what they paid for him, which was £15 million. So 30 million could get you a Tyler Morton. To be honest, I haven't seen what he's been doing at Lyon. I know at Liverpool he was like didn't get much first team opportunities, if any. But he's doing well in France.
Yeah, and I've seen he's they're very happy with him there, and he's quite a good technical midfielder, good passing as well. He is kind of the type of midfielder we are missing a bit. He like kind of can set the tone in the middle, kind of play good short passes, keep the ball ticking, bit of a pace setter in the middle of the park. So I can understand maybe the appeal. Is he the answer? I don't know if maybe. I mean, I would say he's more of a player you would add to the squad rather than someone you buy to start. But I think he is doing very well at Lyon. Maybe give it, see if he can sustain it.
Would you be open to seeing him at Spurs?
Yeah, sure.
You would?
Yeah, be open to it.
Okay. And last but not least, we're going to go back to that old chestnut, Rodrygo of Real Madrid, as Graham Bailey says that it is believed that Tottenham have emerged among the Premier League clubs that Rodrygo would consider joining. His representatives are actively working to secure a January departure from the Bernabeu. Intermediaries representing the 24-year-old are working diligently to identify potential destinations, with Arsenal and Liverpool already engaged in discussions. Rodrygo himself has made it clear that he would welcome move to Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea or Tottenham, though currently only Arsenal, Liverpool and City and Spurs are actively monitoring his availability. Obviously, we know it's going absolutely horrific for him at Real Madrid. Hasn't scored a goal in his last 30 appearances as well, which is absolutely crazy to me. But we know he is a player with huge amounts of talent. Do you think it's any sort of realistic opportunity that Spurs could be in the mix in January?
Who knows if no one else is interested? But the way we're going, would he really want to join us? That's the thing. I'm sure Tottenham would want him. I think there's clear talent there. Again, because of the options Madrid are having, he's clearly disillusioned there at the moment. He's not really getting a look in his favourite position. He's always seemed to be playing third or fourth fiddle to Mbappe and Vinicius, and even Rodrygo gets minutes ahead of him, and he's not really getting a look in. So I think he needs a move. He needs a fresh kind of club at the moment. There was a lot of talk, obviously, in the summer, and he'd had maybe a falling out of Alonso. He was heavily linked with some of the bigger clubs like Arsenal, Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool, there's a natural fit there because they need a winger. Arsenal obviously need a left winger, but obviously we need a left winger as well. And Frank, looking at his press conference, he was asked about the left wing spot. He said, look, it's fair to say no one's really nailed down that spot, and there's competition, but he was asked about whether they're looking to maybe sign a player in that position in January. He said, look, we're always open to improving the squad. Looking at his body language when he was answering that question that time, told me, yeah, we're going to be looking at a left winger for sure in that January. So look, whether it's Rodrygo, I find it hard to believe. I'd love it to happen. I think it would be a really exciting signing, and I think this guy has got bags of ability, and I think he's underutilised at Real Madrid. He's been a big player for them before, but at the moment he seems to be completely out of favour, needs a new challenge. But whether Tottenham are going to be actually in the running for him, I find it hard to believe. But
yeah,
never know.
He doesn't seem to be fighting like tooth and nail to get back into that Real Madrid team. He has had chances this season. Let's get it real. He has had chances this season. He started, not many in terms of starts. He started like 2 or 3 games in the last couple of months, but he does seem to still play in every single game, some part, whether it be like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes at the end of games. And apparently he's just been shocking for them. And to not get any goal in your last 30 games, whether that's 20 minutes or starting, it is poor.
It's not good, is it? But clearly there's something wrong there between him and the club. I think he wanted out in the summer, didn't happen, and there's there's a problem there. I think this is a player with obvious quality. I think everyone can see it.
Yeah. All right, well, that is the situation regarding Spurs transfers and injuries. That is your Tottenham update. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all those news stories that we did talk about today.